it's lovely to see all of you here tonight. Now, you've seen the first 10 years. We're going to do the middle years, and I think of them as our glory years just because we got involved there. Okay, so Bob and Joanne did an excellent presentation of Rayjon's first 10 years, and Maggie and I will try our best to follow with the main focuses for Rayjon's work in Haiti and the DR. It will be hard not going off course, especially for me who loves to tell stories. That's why I have a script. You know. But we have broken down the highlights of the years 1996 to 2006 into 3 categories: healthcare, education, and natural disasters. 1993 was the year Ben and I became part of the Rayjon community with our first awareness trip to the DR, followed by 2 trips to Haiti a few months later. This was also the year that Dianne Maggy, a Haitian-born, Canadian-educated, took over as a field director and quickly demonstrated her motivational and leadership skills. This was the beginning of our most active years in terms of building structures that would be the centers for healthcare and education in the Saint-Marc Valley, and realizing that the Haitian people really understood that they had an integral role in building and sustaining these centers. Local donations have always been solid, but during these years, CETA matched these funds on a 3-to-1 basis, giving us room to grow. Healthcare. Remember the word animatrices. They were the first health agents under Elaine and Louise's leadership who went house to house teaching, advising, and promoting primary health care before the new dispensary was completed. Everything from breastfeeding, rehydration of babies and children, and then AIDS. The old banana leaf structure clinic gave way to a 4-room clinic that quickly attained hospital status under the Haitian Ministry of Health. It's open 24/7, offering primary and preventative health care, vaccination clinics, health teaching. Michelle Solange, a Gilbert resident and the next door neighbor, donated the land. We can't talk about this dispensary or any of the buildings in the Rayjon area without talking about St. Mary's Hope for Haiti. They have always been such a strong partner and started with the construction of the Gilbert Clinic and the many associated buildings. 2 satellite clinics in Bertrand and La Garenne opened as well and are still viable today. Meanwhile, in Cap Haitian, in a parallel time frame, Sister Rosemary Fry was operating a malnutrition center for the children of desperately poor inner city women. We learned about her through Marge and began to support her work in a modest way. But after her retirement and after a few false starts, we took over management of her project, increased funding considerably, built upon her work, and today call this our CAP project. Education. In Rayjon's first years, we helped support the Cebus Baptist schools, but that ended not long after Dianne took over. In Pinson, a small remote mountaintop community, dear to our hearts to this day, a 2-room banana leaf structure was built in '93 to accommodate a preschool class. This was the school Ben and I saw on our first trip to Haiti, and we watched as the men wove banana leaves to make the walls for the new grade 1 classroom. Under Dianne's leadership, the people of the community built a mud and daub building that was the first solid school building. They added 1 class a year up to grade 6, the equivalent of our grade 8. A huge achievement because it meant that the people now realized the value of continuous education, not just enough education so the children could sign their names or do a few sums. This school has grown and changed over the years, but the constant is the passion and dedication of the teachers and the students themselves. A 2nd primary school opened in Gilbert in 2002 in a church basement that adjoins the clinic. It has grown to accommodate 200+ students up to grade 6, but it still is now a basic banana leaf lean-to that butts up against the clinic. Dianne loved these students, loved them, especially the Pinson students. Her vision was to offer them the same chance of higher education that their city counterparts had. The first grade 6 graduates were sent to different high schools in St. Mark and boarded with family or friends. This effort was a dismal failure. The students were seen as country bumpkins, and social pressures, not academic pressures, made them all drop out of school in a few months. So Dianne opened St. Patrick's High School in the community of Barb, mainly for these Pinson graduates. This school was built by Rayjon's women masons in just 5 weeks, and those of us who have seen this school are still amazed by the feat. Again, 1 class a year was added until grades 7 through 13 were accommodated. All Rayjon schools, of course, are monitored under the Haitian Ministry of Education, and today the operation and ownership of these schools is in the process of being handed over directly to the communities involved. In conjunction with Education for Children, adult literacy programs have been ongoing since the mid-90s and were the results of the parents' requests for an education that had been denied them all their lives. Simple basic literacy and numeracy programs led to the present Alpha program, which allows the adults to fast track to grade 6 in just 3 years. This program was mirrored in Cap Haitian in the past few years as well, and the pride and excitement of these adult students cannot be overestimated. In Cap Haitian, education has evolved from simple nutrition programs for the mothers of the malnourished children to a preschool program for the children and the Alpha program for the adults. Inspiring? Yes. Hard work on all fronts? Yes. But what tremendous achievements. Natural disasters. We can't talk about Haiti without recognizing the devastating effects of political instability and uprisings, the years of rampant kidnappings and disappearances, the floods, the hurricanes, the iconic earthquake of 2010, and even today, Hurricane Matthew. Over the years, there's been tremendous loss of life and livelihood, massive displacements of people, loss of crops, animals, and everything that makes a life worth living. Looking back at these middle years, we wonder how anyone or anything has withstood these massive challenges. But the Haitian people do. They just do. They are so much more than just survivors and deserve all our respect and support. We can't forget the Dominican Republic. Awareness trips have always visited the DR and were especially attracted to Jorge's project in Barrio 41, a poor Haitian community of former sugarcane workers who want a chance at a better life for themselves and their children, education and nutrition being the key factors. Although Rayjon supports Jorge and his community in a modest way, monetary restraints determine the limited scope of our efforts there. We must mention the loss of CETA funding, even though that happened just in the last 6 years. That funding from the Canadian government allowed us to grow and support our projects in a way that cannot be duplicated today. But the loss of it pushed us to focus on the true essentials and also pushed our Haitian partners to make our projects their own. For the uninitiated, all NGOs lost government funding, not just Rayjon. CETA was dismantled, and any foreign involvement is now a part of the Canadian Department of Foreign Affairs. This translates into no involvement, no funding, leaving us with only the monies we raise through donations. The budget we have now is less than 1/4 of the amount we had with CETA. There you have it, an all too brief synopsis and not one story of Rayjon's challenges, successes, and some failures in our middle years.